We should walk in with a black cape and our zero hats.
That's right.
Welcome to Not Done Yet, Tuesday high noon, where cancer slayers come to sharpen their edge. Join Robbie, Lisa, and their guests as they help people realize you're not done yet. Today, founder of Imerman Angels and CLOZ Talk, our good friend, Johnny Imerman. Now, we aren't done yet. Matter of fact, we're just getting started.
That's right.
Hello and welcome back this week. I'm Lisa Welch and our producer Ken. Thank you for the introduction. And Robbie, my co-host. How are you? How are you feeling today?
How am I feeling today? I'm feeling like I always feel. I'm fired up and pissed off at cancer today. So I don't know about the rest of you, but
well, is that ever going to go away, you think?
nope, not until cancer's gone.
Right.
I'm still going to stay pissed off at cancer until there is no more cancer.
The crotchety old man.
That's right.
Well, yeah, we talked about that last week. Is making $1. And
That's right.
so we'd like to introduce Johnny Imerman. Hi, Johnny. Welcome to our show.
Hello, Lisa. Hello, Robbie. Great to see you both. Honored
Great
to be here.
You.
Thanks.
We're honored to have you.
Well, Johnny and I crossed paths a couple of times. He's done a little bit of stuff with Cancer Treatment Centers of America once in a while, and I've done things with them, events. So we've kind of passed each other in the last few years, and it's glad to get him together, him today with us so we can ask him some questions. I've always admired what you did because I love when people step out above and beyond and create something from nothing or from something that's bad, but turns around. Because of cancer, look how many people you've affected and all the lives that you've affected because of what you had to go through. And it's just, we're just so thankful that you're here today. We're going to talk mostly about CLOZ Talk. We know pretty much about Imerman Angels. We were going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm really interested in what you do with CLOZ Talk. But first, I want people, in case they don't know, I want to know a little bit about you personally. How old were you what were you doing when I hear about when you found out you had cancer, but I've never heard what were you doing when you found out? What was your life like before you found out you had cancer?
Well, thank you, Robbie, for the kind words. And Robbie and Lisa, you guys are living it and empowering people with cancer and educating people to get checked, which we all know we need earlier. Time matters. You find things earlier, you save lives. So you guys are out there doing it. We're all trying to just do a little bit of our part, but it does take a team in this cancer fight.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Takes a team, no doubt. My quick story, which is much less important than what we do as a team again, is I was diagnosed with cancer at 26. I was living in Detroit, where I'm from. And I was, a couple years out of college. And, like a lot of guys in the 20s, you're going to the gym or you're hanging out with friends, you're going on dates. The last thing in the world you're thinking about is cancer. And I had pain that literally doubled me over. I was in a bar Saturday night. I was in Ann Arbor, 3 guys and 3 girls, couple friends, shooting pool. And the pain flipped on like a light switch. It felt like someone took a knife and stabbed me violently in the left testicle. And, men out there, I know you know what that might feel like. Women, take my word for it. Very, very simple.
Well, we have childbearing, so,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's close, but
I don't think I've ever taken a knife to the left testicle.
I hope you guys never do.
Yeah, that's right. Childbearing, I have much respect for anyone who's giving birth. I have big respect for that. But I doubled over in pain, literally couldn't even stand up, and it forced me to go into the hospital. Without that pain, I never would have gone in. I just wasn't educated, and I wasn't taught that that's something in your 20s that everyone should be going once a year. And I'm lucky because it alerted me there was a problem. It turned out it was cancer. And then we started chemo, we started treatments, we banked sperm, all the things you have to do. Most of us are going to be sterile. So of course you have to bank sperm if you even want to have the chance of having your own children. But all that happens so quickly. But again, without the pain, I wouldn't have known. So to underscore, I know Robbie's a big driver of it, and I am too. and that, you got to go in, you got to get checked. Time matters. Without the pain, I probably wouldn't be here because I had no plans of going to the doctor for years, probably. And I hadn't been, as awful as this sounds, but it's the truth. I hadn't been in 5 full years since I was
Prior
20.
to you having the pain?
Yep. The last time I got a checkup, I was forced to. I went to University of Michigan, and we were forced to, as college students, from 21 to 26. And I know that sounds super boneheaded, which it is, but it's good for people to know. It almost cost me my life. You don't want anyone to lose their life because you're just not getting checked.
I hope young people are watching and hearing this, because I never even thought about it in my 20s. Right. To go to the doctor unless I absolutely Excedrin was my doctor. It's like you didn't go. Did you go that night to the hospital, or did you kind of put it off, wait and see what would happen? Or
it was so bad that I literally drove. I could barely drive the car, but I did drive it home.
You drove yourself.
I drove. Well, my friends did offer. There's my second boneheaded move.
Yeah. No, I'll do it myself.
And I said, guys, I'll handle this. I went to the gym that morning. I probably pulled something. Guys will come up with anything that it's not a big deal. The word cancer never entered my mind. I didn't really know much about the word at all at that time. And so I literally waved my friends off and said, it's Saturday night. You guys have fun. I don't want to ruin your Saturday. I thought I was, didn't want to bother them. And I drove myself. And then ultimately, yes, it got to the hospital. And, I had a great doctor, though. And this is kind of an interesting story. He sort of crossed his legs and he sat down with me. He gave me full attention. I was alone. And he said, and again, this is 2001, right? I'm 45 now. So this is going back a ways, 20 years. And Lance Armstrong had just won his, I think, second Tour de France. And people were just in America learning who this guy was. And the doctor said to me, he goes, hey, do you know who Lance Armstrong is? And I said, yeah, I think he's that cyclist, right? Who keeps winning the big race in France and the Tour de France every year, and American guy, right? And I think he's a cancer survivor. And the doctor looked at me and said, yes, and he is a cancer survivor. He beat this cancer. And I'm sorry to tell you, you have the same cancer. And of course, it was like dropping a bomb, as it was for all of us on this call to hear that. But when you think about how brilliant and compassionate of a move that is, to at least show me one survivor before he told me that I had this cancer, then immediately my mind went to, whoa, somebody beat this and won this great race. It is possible. He obviously deliberately did that to give me hope. And otherwise, I think a lot of us, when you hear that word, immediately think, oh, wait, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Well, now, did you say that you were on a phone with somebody? Because you were physically by yourself with the doctor. Did you have somebody on the phone with you? Like a friend or parent or somebody?
No, there wasn't a phone, just me. It was 2001. I'm trying to remember when cell phones came around. That might have been around then, but it was just me and him in a room. He wasn't a urologist, but figured it out pretty quickly, and did an ultrasound. I mean, boom, boom, boom. Before I knew it, you're banking sperm. Like the next day, you're doing cut the testicle out, and then after the sperm was done, right into chemo. So it does happen so quickly, as we all know from our treatment.
Wow.
That's amazing how fast it. Because life's going along at a certain pace, and all of a sudden you hear the word cancer, and it just starts flying by. And information and people and all these new things start coming in at you that you never knew about. And how did you explain to your friends what happened, why you weren't up jumping around Monday or Tuesday with everybody else after that weekend?
Yeah, I did have to call them and say, hey, guys, you would never imagine what happened at the doctor's, but I did let them know. And my friends were great. They were super supportive. And my mom will always say, she's like, I've never seen male friends, guys in the 20s, as emotionally connected as your friends. And they would come visit me. They would call me. One of them would say, I love you. I love you. I mean, just very expressive. So I felt a lot of love there. And I had the best mom in the world. She was there every minute of every chemo. And my brother's my best friend. He's my business partner for CLOZ Talk. He was always there. So I had this support. But I know the two of you guys know what I mean when you're in chemo and you're at the center and you have your support, but when you take your IV pole to walk down the hallway to go to the bathroom, you can't help but be curious. and look into their windows. I had a private room because my chemos were 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, every day, the first week of every cycle. So I had a private room, but you got to leave your room to walk down the hallway. And of course, you start looking in the glass and who are these other people? And it was shocking to me how many people were alone, fighting cancer all by themselves, no family, no friends. They're hooked up, being pumped with chemo. They look, no smile on their face, no laughing. Robbie to me is like the epitome of like positive energy and laughing.
He does have a lot of energy.
Yeah, and they needed a Robbie. They needed energy.
They had a Johnny.
They did. Well, and so how did you? So was that when your thought process started to I'm going to help these people somehow, or what? What inspired it? Like as you're walking?
Yes, ultimately what happened is I started, the guilt started to pile up in me that I could come back to my room and people were telling jokes and they were laughing and keeping me positive. And, there was so much energy and these other people didn't have that. So the majority of them did not have that. Some did, but the majority did not. And so towards the end of my treatment, I started walking into rooms with my IV pole. And what I noticed, it was an immediate connection, just like the one the three of us have, right? We all get it. We've all been through this. We sort of know each other the first time we meet each other because we've shared this crazy journey and this experience. And so immediately people were so happy just to talk to me and they knew I got it because I'm pumping chemo, they're pumping chemo. And we just started talking human to human. And they were so excited. An hour goes by like that. And at the end of it, you're giving a hug and you're exchanging cell phones or phone numbers. And, that's when we started realizing that, hey, there's something here. Survivors have a special power. It's a knowledge, but it's the knowledge of the experience. And we can share that to help others. And we wanted to get people to think like this is a gift, right? Like it's hard and it's difficult and it's scary for all of us. But if we can use that knowledge as a gift, we can help more people. And that was really how, as a team, this group of young survivors in Metro Detroit got together and said, let's recruit as many survivors as we can, as many families as we can who've been through it. And then one-on-one, let's plug them in to those who are still fighting today. And that became this apples to apples match over time because we said, hey, if there's a woman in Metro Detroit or in Paris, anywhere in the world who's got stage 3 ovarian cancer, we know another woman named Sally who's the same age and already beat stage 3 ovarian cancer. That woman needs to help the woman going through the fight. And that was the beginning of this one-on-one, apples to apples matching. But it started just with a group of young survivors that we all just became friends at the center.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you learn
to
fall in love, and you just learn to love people quickly and deeply in this fight. It seems, you meet somebody and right away, like you said, you just love them right away.
Yes,
it changes your mindset for sure.
It does. And I think probably the three of us are probably good examples. You can't take life too seriously.
Not anymore.
Going to the doctor once a year, getting checked, not that serious. But other things, you got to have fun and you got to enjoy life. And I think that's one reason why survivors connect so easily, because you have to lighten this stuff up. Otherwise, it's just scary and heavy and too much.
It's like when I invite somebody to go to a cancer walk with me, they're like, cancer walk? I'm like, believe me, there's more fun and joy at a cancer walk than any place I've ever been. Those people are excited about being alive. They have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've never been to one yet that I haven't had a lot of fun at.
That's
well said. That's so true. We have the same thing, in Chicago. We're like, we're doing an event for cancer. And people are like, that sounds like a downer, a cancer event. We're like, you have no idea how grateful these people are.
Exactly.
And they're all laughing and smiling. I'm like, it's anything but bad energy. It's all good energy.
Well, because it's survivorship. We went through the hardest part, taking a walk. We can walk. That's great. Let's do it. And you build friendships. And I know the first time that I went to chemo, I was scared to death, even though my husband was there. And this woman came out of nowhere, came up to me, introduced herself, and she makes these little angels. And I could put it on my purse. Yeah. And every time I carried that purse, I thought of that woman because she reached out to me gave me a big hug, and gave me that angel to remind me that I've got someone looking out for me. And it's, you just meet the nicest people at chemo and anywhere when you have this connection. Because even, before I met Robbie, it was like, well, we have a connection.
Yeah.
And now we're friends, and now we're working together. Well, we call this work, but, but it's true. It is so true.
Yeah.
So true.
That's so great. You remember that stuff, Lisa, so well, right? That
I
woman
do.
gave her time, gave you something, and was like, you don't know me, but I care about you.
Yes, absolutely.
We want to say hi to a couple of people that are. Deb Reynolds just joined us today. Hi, Deb. I hope you're doing okay. I know you're going through some rough treatment right now, but hang in there, kiddo. You're doing okay. And Phil is I saw a post yesterday. He said he didn't feel like he was a cancer slayer because he was a caregiver. I'm like, no.
Yep.
Caregivers are cancer slayers just as much as the patient is. Their passion for our life is so strong, and it's what keeps us going most of the time. I want to say hi to Gary Nigg. We have a listener that's been with us almost from the start, that almost every show from Singapore that joins on a show, and he's with us right now. So
it's Huang.
How do you pronounce it?
Huang.
There we go. I said it right that time. So
we just say Gary from Singapore.
Gary from Singapore. There we go. We're glad you're here, Gary. But he joins us every week. So it's just, I'm amazed. Once you decided you're going to do Imerman Angels, nobody does anything on their own. People have to have people help them. I rub people wrong sometimes when I go, there's no such thing as a self-made man. They go, wait a minute, I did this. I'm like, you had to have people help you, or you took advantage of people, one or the other. Nobody does anything alone. Once you decided, hey, I want to do something, but I'm only one person. I can only talk to so many people. Who joined you in forming this idea into something that was real?
Thank you, Robbie. I could not agree with you more. Imerman Angels is the epitome of teamwork. It is maybe the best example I can think of teamwork, because one survivor does nothing. I couldn't agree more. Nobody is a self-made person. It takes teams. It takes so many inputs. I mean, the reason why Imerman Angels works, we have over 12,000 cancer survivors and caregivers. I want to mention to that one person who caregivers are equally as important.
Yeah.
About 1 in 3 matches that Imerman Angels makes every year is a caregiver to another caregiver. That could be a spouse with another spouse, or a mom with another mom, or a brother to a brother, right? It doesn't have to be the person. It's the family unit that's fighting this thing together. So everybody matters. Everyone's equally as important. But we are the epitome of teamwork, right? Over 12,000 humans have said, we're grateful enough. We've been through this and we want to give back. And they're trained and on call and ready to go. And we have a staff of 10 full-time at Imerman Angels that is there to train them, but then eventually to match them one-on-one with somebody with the same thing. But we are the epitome of teamwork. And I'll tell you why, because we don't know everyone's on deck, but who's going to get the call to go into the game? We don't know. It could be in 5 minutes from now, somebody in Kansas has thyroid cancer and they're 50, and we need someone who's 55 who beat thyroid cancer in the last few years at the same who's very similar situation.
Yeah.
We don't know which one of that 12,000 and growing is going to be that person. Or somebody else is going to find us in London and they've got, a rare cancer called mycosis fungoides. And there's, I'm guessing, 100 of these in the world a year. We might have to look across the globe to find that next person to match them up with. But we don't know who's going to get the call to step up and step in until those that are in the fight or just diagnosed find us. So the network is the strength. Unity is the strength. We're all marching together in the same direction. The mission works because we're all working together.
Do you think technology has made it a whole lot easier for you to do that? Because I'm thinking, how in the world, trying to find, okay, this person's over here, has this particular set of problems, and we're going to find another person. Do you have a large database that are you using the technology to match these up? Because it would take a person a long time to go through this to make sure I match it to this person.
We
do it quickly.
Yes, we have gone through we're on 4.0. We've gone through 4 different CRM systems, like a database management system. And the latest one is by far the best. We use Salesforce, which also sponsors us and does help us out, which is great. We're really grateful. They do a lot of good work. But Salesforce is our tech system that the 10 full-time staff at Imerman Angels can use. And when we train someone, we build them a profile. Think of it like a Facebook profile, but it's more of your cancer profile. We have your contact information and we have all that, but we know a lot of details, even stuff like what languages do you speak? Because we might have a survivor that lives in Switzerland and this survivor speaks 7 languages. And I can think of someone who exactly fits this. And that's somebody who can mentor people in so many different languages. It's much more versatile. And sometimes that same survivor has overcome 3 different cancers. So now they can talk about 3 different cancers and one of 7 languages. That survivor can be plugged in a lot of different ways to help others. But we use Salesforce to manage it all and then match people up. We also have an automated system through Salesforce that we customize, that after we figure out these 2 people are the right fit, an automatic email is sent to both people about 2 to 3 weeks later, checking in. We call that the feedback loop, because we want to make sure that it's the right fit and they got along. It's kind of like a mini survey. And we learned that lesson from one of my mentors. Again, there's so many people involved in this whole mission. One of my mentors and our mentors is the guy, Dr. Stuart Siegel, who for about 35 years ran the oncology at Children's of LA, CHLA, right on Sunset Boulevard. And he's just a wonderful guy. He's also the guy that kind of was the pioneer for children's cancer camps in the 70s and 80s, when people thought that was a crazy idea. Then they thought it was crazy, and he was a young doctor then. He kept pushing and pushing, saying this is a good thing. And eventually now today, of course, kids' cancer camps are beautiful and they help so many kids. But he was one of the first guys that saw value in that, when some other doctors said that's going to be dangerous to put them together and they're all a little different, it won't work. But Stuart taught us the feedback loop. And Stuart, I met him at a cancer conference years ago. We became close. And one time he put his hand on my shoulder and he goes, Johnny, I love Imerman Angels. Our parents need it. The kids need it. Everybody needs this human connection. But here's where you're messing it all up. He's like, there's no feedback. You got to check in. You got to make sure that it's done right. You can't just assume, like dating, if 2 people are a good fit, that it's going to work. Because we all know in dating, a lot of times it doesn't work. Even when so that's when we learn that, to check in and make sure, and our database is able to do those little things for us, automated, so we make sure we get it right.
So do these people feel more accepted then, do you think, by having a mentor or having a place to go? And I mean, I was really kind of going towards the children and their camps, but that's not directly to you. But with your experience and what you're going through, do you find that people feel more accepted because they're now different? They're not the same person they were.
Yes. You mean after, Lisa, after cancer? So once they go through it, yeah, I think there's no question, myself included, I think all of us would agree. I call it like enlightenment. You just have a different view on life, a different appreciation. And I think it's important that we, through mentoring or through talking to other survivors, just like we are today, that keeps that fresh. Because one thing I've learned in life, like if you separate from it too much, it's the mind will let go or forget. It's one reason I always have at least 1, 2, 3 or more guys that I'm mentoring always, no matter what I'm doing. And, because number one, it's the right thing to do. And that's our duty, I feel like, as survivors. But it also helps us, right? It helps us live more. It helps us be reminded that when we get upset about something that's minute, that's maybe an object that breaks and we loved it, or we drop our phone and it cracks, and obviously that's not fun. Nobody wants that. But like when you're like, hey, the call I was on this morning is with a younger kid who's 18 with testicular cancer that's spread to his brain, and he's got on a weight craniotomy coming up to like cut this tumor out next week. You're helping him and doing everything you can for him, but it reminds all of us that's the important stuff, right? Not the phone. Like, we're going to figure out the phone. We'll figure the other stuff out. It's just material objects. But I mean, for this kid, it's life and death. And so I think mentoring and staying connected, just like we are today, and having these talks, we live a much more enlightened life. I think that we just make choices that are different than they were before.
And I always tell people it gives purpose and value to what you had to go through. If you turn around and help somebody else through this same, not the same setting, but going through cancer, then it gives purpose and value to what I had to go through myself. Otherwise, it sucks that we all got to suffer like that.
That's right.
But if I can help somebody else because of it, now at least it has purpose and value to it, and I think
100%.
exactly, just like your doctor took that, you're exactly right. That was a brilliant move that he did to give you instant hope by showing you somebody else who had beaten that and gone on to do something extraordinary. I think we're all ordinary people until we go through this and we're put into extraordinary situations after that, or given the opportunity to be extraordinary.
Well,
100%.
I don't remember. I mean, obviously, I remember Neil, or Armstrong. I can't think of his first name now.
Lance.
Lance. Oh my gosh,
Mr. Lance.
Mr. Lance. And now he was what, in his 40s?
And he had it. He was actually 25. I was 26. The average age for testicular cancer is right in there, 24, 25, 26. It's the most common young men's cancer in the country. About 10 to 12,000 young adult males between 15 and 35 years old will get it every year. And so we got to teach the young people. I mean, Lance and I were both like right in that average age.
Wow. Oh, I was thinking, I don't know why. I was thinking he was older, but wow, that's crazy. And look, he survived, you survived, he's Live Strong, you're Imerman Angels and CLOZ Talk. I mean, there's a way to make it right, better.
Yeah.
And you're right, putting things into perspective. I have a tool that I use that it's called the fives. And when something happens, I go, okay, is this going to matter in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years? And if it's not going to matter in a couple of minutes, done.
Yep.
I don't care. Moving on. If it's going to matter maybe in a couple of days, okay, I probably should address it.
So,
right. Love that.
Thank you.
So did you get bored and decided you wanted to start another company?
I appreciate that. It was probably less being bored, but it was more being very aware of my limitations and my flaws, which are a ton of them. So I, like you, Robbie and I are similar. We both have a lot of energy. We both love, you got to laugh, you got to smile, and you got to be moving all the time. I could feel that from Robbie immediately. And so, what happened was I realized when we started to get from a couple people full-time closer to like 7, 8, 9, 10 people, we really needed to bring in a pro to run it. We have 12,000 cancer survivors to manage. We have 1,000 local volunteers just in Chicago alone. We have ambassadors sort of in different cities, and we have 4 boards at Imerman Angels, 160 board members across 4 boards, including a medical advisory board. Yeah, of doctors, nurses, social workers. So there's so many people involved, which is great, but I am a terrible operator, and I learned that through experience. I'm not organized enough. And if you love the mission enough and you love the people you serve enough, their number one thing is find the best person for the job, right? It's not about you. Just like Robbie said, there's no one person that's self-made or does it all. You want the team to have the biggest impact. You find the best, your star center fielder. You find your best person and put them in the right spot. And so we found a wonderful woman named Stephanie, who is great, Stephanie Lieber. And you guys know Jackie, who is also amazing, who runs the programs. And Stephanie's our executive director. She's a 20-year nonprofit exec. She was with a much bigger organization before us. And she's doing a great job of running the team. But I'm still involved every day. I love it. I'm either mentoring or on calls, or I do a lot of speeches for us to cancer centers. We did one recently at the Jeff in Philly, the Jefferson Sidney Kimmel Cancer Center. We'll do stuff like that. Partners. I do a lot of the external, which I love. And Robbie, I think Robbie and I are similar in a lot of ways.
He likes to
He's somewhere to talk.
But did he tell you how he was a wallflower and now suddenly we can't shut him up? I mean,
I don't believe it. I don't believe the wallflower part.
Many, many years ago.
Right. And so, that you just got to find your role that works on the team. And so we came up with an idea, though, And my brother and I got really excited about it because, again, this is a sort of out there outreach idea. And the way that we got the word out for Imerman Angels in Chicago, and this is back in 05, 06, 07, social media was not what it is today, right? Facebook, I think, was created in 05. We were just starting. So that wasn't even really a big thing yet. And so things were on the ground, and we're like, let's make cool t-shirts. Let's make our swag cool. And we came up with the idea, like, let's make these t-shirts really high quality. And we thought that nonprofits, again, no knock on nonprofits, they shouldn't have to figure this stuff out. That's not their wheelhouse. The mission is they should be on their mission, not marketing. But we figured out, like, if we could make t-shirts cooler and we could make them wearable. And what we did is we dropped the taglines, the mission statements, no company sponsors, clean, simple, less is more. Our friends started rocking them at the gym. They would wear it going for a run by Lake Michigan on the beach. They would wear it at a Cubs game, a Sox game, concerts, walking their dog on Sunday in River North, West Loop, wherever it was. And people started to be like, what is that logo? I keep seeing that. Who are the Angels? And it was this grassroots, scrappy idea. And the word spread. And that we really credit with driving us over 12,000 survivors and grows every year, helps us help thousands of people. But it was just the awareness from the t-shirts. And then it is certain. And first of all, you guys are great because you're doing exactly what we believe. Black and white. You got the black and white shirts on. I love it. I love it. Oh, there's Scott Sachs. Good man.
I was going to mention that to you. I was going to mention our mutual pal Scott said Johnny is the epitome of extrovert.
Yep.
Scotty, one of the best guys. Scotty used to be for years the head of the board for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in Chicago, LLS. Done great work for so many causes, continuing helping causes as a consultant. Just one of the nicest, best guys. Everybody loves Scott in Chi-Town.
American Heart Association, I think he's with now. Yeah, another great company. Yeah.
American Heart, wonderful. That is important too. Yeah, always doing good things. Scotty Sachs, great to see you up there, man. And so yeah, we came up with this idea, just like you're wearing. You guys figured it out too. The black and white, somehow it's just more popular. We tried every other color, and God, people just didn't want to wear it. But when we made it black and white, it was maybe a little more subtle. People thought that was cooler on fabric and on a shirt. And so we now have, we created CLOZ Talk, CLOZ Talk, like your closed talk for a good cause. And it's pro bono, 100% free for nonprofits. Thank you for bringing that up. And basically what it is, think of it like a directory. There's over 300 501c nonprofits on it right now. And we're always looking for more nonprofits we can help. Again, they don't have to pay anything. They don't have to promote anything. We want them focused on their mission, whether it's saving dogs or it's arts classes to underserved children, or it's feeding the homeless, right? Something right now that we're having such a hard time with, or feeding so many families in this country because of COVID and so many things going on, and people need job help or food help. And so anyone can go to this site and they can, thank you, Scotty. I see that, man. Always good to see you, brother. Yeah, they can go to the site and they can click on any one of these categories, and you can search and read about different nonprofits. You can understand their mission, watch a video, but you also can shop for their apparel right here on the site. You can buy a single t-shirt, a single hat. We do track jackets, we do hoodies. We've done all the research and found really high quality, the best brands in class that you can guarantee will last and be comfortable. And we make them one-off, and then we drop ship them. And this way it prevents nonprofits also from buying in bulk, which ends up in inventory and waste, and oftentimes $2 t-shirts because they're expensive. And so people don't want that outlay. But our model is we drive the traffic. We try to get people to our site to learn about the cause. We sell the t-shirts for them, and then get more ambassadors rocking their logo, spreading the word for them.
So, Johnny, I know an internet radio station that is nonprofit, not by choice. Do you work with it?
I was going to ask you, what's the process if I'm a 501c3 or say 01, I think you're 501, right?
501c3. You got it.
and what do I do? I call you up. How do I go through this process to register with you so that people can buy shirts with my name on it?
Yes, just like right here, the station, the nonprofit station. Anyone who owns a site that's doing great work, we're happy to help. There is a link on our website, probably the fastest way to sign up. There's a link at the top right that says nonprofit application.
Yep.
If you click that application, it takes about 10 minutes, and we just need your logo, and we need your mission, 5 bullet points, a video if you've got one. Videos do help with inspiring people to really feel for that mission and cause. And that's it. It takes us about a month for our designers to build the site, but we take your existing logo and we put it in black and white. We put it on all of our brands, and we get all the logistics in place. So we're ready to go live, and then we launch it with all our other nonprofits here just to get free exposure.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, because that's a big outlay. We've been talking about it even just with the show for the shirts. It's a big outlay that you have to put out if you're going to go ahead and buy these and have them made up ahead of time. And most nonprofits don't have that kind of money laying around to where they can order 30, 50, 100 shirts,
Right.
To do that. And plus the shipping. How do you handle that? Does the person buying the shirt know they're paying for shipping or?
Yeah, so the shipping, it really works like a regular Shopify store. We use a Shopify platform. So when someone buys a shirt, let's say for Imerman Angels, and it's $25, depending on what state there is, the tax may be different, but Shopify calculates that automatically. And then the shipping is also based on what state they're in. Our average is just about $8. I think it's about $8.50 for shipping.
Yeah.
That's right. And then everything is right there, and they would buy it just like they would on Amazon or anything else.
Yep.
We're not Amazon fast yet, but we're getting closer. Our average from order to arrival at your doorstep is 4.6 days right now.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, we're getting faster. We were at about 6 days, and now we're down to 4.6. We're always trying to make it faster and faster that we can.
And how many nonprofits did you say you're covering now that you're promoting?
322, I think we are today. So we're probably looking more to like 500 to 1,000 to have on the platform. And then what we're going to do, which is really our big idea that we are so excited about, is going to companies who can invest their employees through this program. And what I mean is somewhere like Google can spend $25 on every employee to invest in their employees. For a company like Google, obviously not that much for them to spend if it's going to help their people and their culture. And every Googler gets to go onto our site, just like we're doing right now, and they get to read about all these great missions, spend a week on the site, get inspired, get educated. Everyone's different. We're cancer people, we know that. Yeah. But somebody else might pick something else. Ultimately, they pick their favorite nonprofit that they love. We make them the shirt. And then rather than Jeans Day at Google once a month, it's Foundation Friday. Everyone's rocking their favorite nonprofit logo. And coworkers now are teaching each other. It's a natural question, like, what's that? What does it do? And why do you care? It also gets us to open ourselves up, which is really key. In Google and CSRs, companies like that are, corporate social responsibility, the companies are always looking for employee engagement. It gets their people to open up, because why you would be wearing that shirt or me this one will tell the mission. But then the next step is, this is why I care, because I had cancer for 2 years in my 20s, and my coworkers may say, whoa, I had no idea what happened to you. And all of a sudden we're connecting at a deeper level, and we're bonding not only people, but we're bonding their workforce at Google. And then over time, that's the goal, that they're more productive, they're more compassionate, they're happier, and they're more connected. It's good for everybody, but it's all done through their favorite nonprofit and rocking that logo.
Yeah. What a great $25 investment for Google too, happy employees. Well, happy employees are
That's true.
Happy employees. True. I mean, if you
work harder.
You make them
for sure.
Yeah. Especially if something like that, it's bringing something of their personal life that means something to them to the workplace, which is, for years you weren't supposed to do that, but now that's the thing. Now you share those things with each other. That's a wonderful idea. Yeah.
You have something more in common, or a little bit more about them by having, I'm supporting the Multiple Myeloma Foundation. Well, why is that? Okay, well, this is why. And then they can get to know you a little bit better, and they might understand why sometimes, in my case, I don't remember something. you know, whatever everyone else's ailments are based on their
We're just
foundation
old.
they chose. But
Yeah, we're just old.
Yeah, I'm the old one here. So you don't do custom logos so much as more you do different font kind of basically, but
It's a great question.
kind of a logo.
Yeah.
You don't do back logos, right?
That's right. So we the back, the only thing we have on the back, as you can see right here, is just a tiny little close talk, like on the back. Otherwise,
Up at the top.
the rest of the back is blank. What we learned in our experience is that we feel it's just more popular, that less is more on the shirts, especially the younger people who tend to be the ones that are, into t-shirts at least and hats the most. But we'll still get all ages, of course. But the younger people are the ones that work for us at Imerman Angels. And they were young and they were in the city and they were around people all the time. And they would just rock it during their regular day, but they liked it so much better if it was black and white and literally nothing besides the logo. They just didn't want it to look like a brochure. And they felt like it was uncool if the mission was on there and the website and the URL. So we just want to give them what they want and let them be our ambassadors and spread the love for us.
Plus, I can only imagine trying to do custom logos for every single company that comes to you. It'd be 300 something different logos you're coming up with for, I can understand.
Well, if you didn't already have one, that is, so.
Yes, there are a few groups, to your point, Lisa, that, and again, we do this free coaching, we'll tell them in a nice way, but we're like, hey, you're such a great organization. We love your mission, but your logo has been around for like 20, 30 years. It would help you to do a refresh now before you join CLOZ Talk. And not only does it help, it's easier for us if it's going to be more popular, but more importantly for them, like we don't do it, but we have people that we know who can do it for them. And some of them are really reasonable to keep their costs down, but they just probably need a refresh. It's not their fault. That shouldn't be what they have to do. They shouldn't be marketing people that need to make cool graphic design logos, but find a pro, get it done, because logos do matter. And if you want a brand to carry, it's the brands too. The logo itself should be simple and clean and not too busy.
There you go. And of course, that answers the age-old question to the riddle, right? What's black and white and red all over? CLOZ Talk.
CLOZ Talk shirts.
Well done. That's a good one.
How many different items do you have?
17. So we have 4 different types of hats. We have tank tops, t-shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, of course. We have polos, men's and women's. If you click on any one of the sites, you can see, maybe you want to click on any one of those categories. Community development is a good one. Yep. And you can scroll down. Those are some Chicago ones. There's a Detroit one, born and raised in Detroit. Click on any one you want, and we'll see the whole store.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. So there's the store. It's the same template for every one of our nonprofits. So you can see on one side is the mission, of course. That's first. People should care. You got to understand. You got to know the name. Got to care. But on the right side, as you're scrolling down, you're seeing all the different items, the same items for every cause.
Yeah, but you're using a somewhat of a semi-custom logo with that along with their name, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's their logo. So we didn't create that. So like CAT, Chicago Adventure Therapy, had that logo first. We convert it to black and white. And sometimes we'll have to move like something on the side. If it's a little too much, put it on top. But we don't want to like change things around because we don't want to mess up their branding or give them confuse their people. We just want to amplify the message. But yes, our designers take their existing logo. If it's good enough and they don't need a refresh, if it's ready to go, we make it into black and white, and then we design the shirts. But they're always in the same spot. So the logo, the size, and everything for every group is just their logo in the same format as this.
Well, it's good to know because I was thinking that it was just lettering, which is fine to read it, but you can use a logo if they've got one that's established and is sized right to where you can get it on there and look good. You will do that. So that's good to know.
Exactly.
the hat that you have on now is CLOZ Talk logo. Is that correct?
Yes, that is ours, which is a T-shirt with a speech bubble, as you can see right here.
Yeah, it's cool.
So simple and clean, and the meaning behind it is actually right. Is that what's on the shirt is trying to talk, and this was created by a guy who's a good friend of mine, Brad DeMaria, who's a cancer survivor and one of our mentors in Chicago. Wonderful guy. I remember when he was sick, and I sort of mentored him, and we've just stayed close friends. And he's also his most famous. He's very good. And his most famous design he ever did is Jimmy John's. You know the Jimmy John's logo.
Nice.
That is Mr. Brad DeMaria. So we're proud of him. He's a very, very talented guy. He actually left Chicago about a year ago and moved to Charlottesville. And he is one of the professors in graphic design at UVA, University of Virginia.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So he's freaky fast, huh?
He's freaky fast. Yeah, he's freaky fast.
Well done.
He came up with it freaky fast, man. We don't have to pay any rights, do we, for saying that?
No royalties. No royalties.
I'm glad that we're showing these. I'm glad that we're showing these because, like I said, I was first under the impression that it was just wording, but every one of them has one pretty much that we've seen has their logo on there.
Detroit
Yes.
Public Schools has a schools. Say that 10 times fast. Detroit Public Schools actually is spelled incorrectly. No, I'm kidding.
Clearly, he's
I
not
like
from
that. That
Detroit.
looks
So
Hey, I'm from Lansing, so right down the road. So,
Nice.
I thought it was
Awesome.
well, I grew up, but I was born in Lansing. I'm a Michigan State fan. That's right.
and now we've got a Wolverine.
Had he
we've
been
got-
a Spartan, maybe none of this would ever happen.
I'm glad you didn't then.
Right.
we got a
Listen, you
Spartan,
guys-
a Wolverine, and
Yeah.
a Illini.
What's your average price ranges? I know it's hard to say because it depends on the logo, how much, how big the logo is,
So
all the
every-
different shirt sizes.
Totally. The most expensive, the cheapest thing I think on our site is 22, which I think is our knit hat, and then it goes all the way up. If you scroll down, I think it's 22. Is that right? Yep, 22. And then it goes up. The most expensive are the polos. We use OGO brand, OGIO. If you keep scrolling up a little bit, you're going to see them in about. Oh no, actually. Oh yeah, there they are right there. Thank you. Women's polo, 68. Yep, that's that is the most expensive thing that we sell. We try to keep, it's all quality, but our margins are thinner. We try to keep our prices as low as possible because we want people to have them.
Yeah.
We want people to love them, and they got to wear it like once a week, twice a week, hopefully more. The more they wear it, that's when the branding is going to happen. But we use, guys, as pricing. We use Life is Good, which is another great brand. I bet, Robbie, you love it because it seems like your personality
Yeah.
too. Big
Life is
time.
Is it?
Yes.
We love them. Life is Good, but we think our quality is just as good, or maybe even, in our opinion, we're biased, but a little bit better maybe in some categories. But our prices are all lower than theirs. We use them as a benchmark that for any item, we never want to go above what they're charging, and we just want to make sure it's always affordable, of course, to as many people as we can.
That's
Cool. And of course, black is very slimming. It's nice.
That is an advantage too.
That's
That
right.
is an
Well, that's what they
advantage.
say. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
really true, but yeah.
Not when I'm in it.
You
Yeah.
want to buy a lot of black tape then.
And notice there's no horizontal stripes. That's the other thing. We don't
Praise
want
God.
that.
That's right. I like the tracksuit, the jacket. That's nice.
They do. The tracks are
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really comfy. We use Bella Canvas for that, an American company that's out of LA. If you you can see the tracksuit right there. Not the tracksuit, but there's a couple items that do come in gray and white as well. If you don't mind scrolling up, do you mind just going up to the t-shirts? We do the t-shirts in gray and white as well, just to show you that the women's or the men's. You click on either one. And if you go to the left, you can change
that's
color.
cool.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
And there's the gray.
Man,
Right.
that's look good too.
Black's much better.
Yeah.
But it comes-
Apparently, Kent is, partial to
Yeah.
black.
Oh yeah.
But it's nice that you have options. It's not a lot, but it's just that little difference.
And here's why is because gray reminds me of, the outfits I had to wear for gym class, right? Think about that.
Well, we went to McHenry. They were black and orange. I'm just saying. We were Halloween all year long.
Hey, Johnny, what does the nonprofit benefit financially from this?
They will. So the answer to that is right now, we still lose money every month in this startup, but we're not profitable yet. We knew that going in. We're in year 3. This is our 3rd startup. So once we break even, we sign a 1-page agreement with every group so they know this up front. Once we break even, and we are doubling sales every year, so we're getting there. We're slowly covering these costs as our volume goes up and as we continue to promote. But once we break even, then 20% of our profit we donate back to our causes. So it's passive income for them. We simply just write them a check. So that way, 80% for a while, once we break even, we'll go back in the system to just continue to grow. But 20%, we think we can stay sustainable, keep this thing going for them, and then also fund them in addition. But I will add this. One thing we've learned with Imerman Angels, the more shirts on the more bodies equals more donations as well. It equals everything, right? Because people would learn about it, and some people would just love it and make a donation. So the more of these you get out there, they're going to get sort of organic donations as well, just through awareness. And we had that with Imerman Angels. We expect the same to happen with these other causes too.
Very nice.
Well, Johnny, I know you have a hard stop time today. We were talking before, and we don't want to keep you past that 1 o'clock or that hour time frame. Got any passing thoughts for us? What's on the horizon for you?
Well, I just want to say all 3 of you guys are great energy. It's just been a pleasure to get to know you guys. And I love what you're doing to educate and help others on cancer and beyond. But I know the cancer space to all of us is such an important one. It's life and death stuff. And again, we got to get people to get checked. We got to get people to open up and talk about this stuff. And you guys are doing it and leading from the front. So big respect for everything you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, Johnny.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I like to call it creating the desire to inspire in other people by doing what you do. And hopefully, what we're doing, what you're doing will create that desire in others to go out and do something and inspire somebody else also. So I call it the desire to inspire. Creating that in other people is what we're all trying to do.
I love that, Robbie. It's
take
action,
it from us, right? And run with it.
Absolutely. I love that. It's actions. You guys took action. It's easy to think about, we could do this, we could do that, but here you guys are. You're in the studio, you're with Kent, you're doing it. You got it done. You're taking action, and that's exactly right. That's how to inspire other people to also do other good in different ways.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. I mean, a lot of times people don't want to talk about something like this. It's not a pleasant thing sometimes. There's a lot of pain and suffering that goes with cancer and loss. And, I said the other day, the only way I could sum up with us losing Tom was it just cut a little deeper than the last scar. Yeah. Every time we lose somebody to this disease, and I take that and I just use that as more motivation and inspiration to keep running my big mouth and doing what I can and talking about cancer and until they get sick of me or there's no more cancer, one or the other.
Robbie, you are such a perfect fit with our team. That is something that we talk about in the office as well. We have since the beginning that every time we lose someone, we honor them. Yep. We honor them by working harder, working the next half hour, staying up a little late one night, help the next person who's in need. You honor those who we lost along the way by helping more and making meaning from their life. Yeah. And so exactly what you said, spot on. I mean, that's exactly what our team lives and breathes every day.
What are you dreaming of big for the future?
I will say this. I do love the building stages. I hope that we have the same problem with Imerman Angels, that we can get big enough and hire someone else to run it and then maybe create something else again. I do love the creation piece. I think it just feeds the soul. And you guys may agree, and maybe the risk you took to create what you have here and your show, that we I think a lot of us as survivors too, not to be careless, but take calculated risks, right? Take intelligent risks, right? Try new things. And cancer has definitely given me that. And probably you guys agree as well for yourselves. And so that's made me want to build more and create more. And I think there's something along the way with meeting all these hundreds of nonprofits. We know all of them personally on Close Talk. Some of them are helping animals. The next animal gets saved. The next group, again, is in foods insecurity or in diversity and inclusion, human rights, criminal justice. But we're meeting so many people doing so many good things that I think there's a possibility that one of these ideas we're going to get really excited about through some of these people we meet along the way. And at some point, again, create again and try to build again. But for now, let me tell you, this is hard. Close Talk is not easy. We are trying to stay focused as we can right now.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that I'm surrounded by great people. All I have to do is come in here and shoot my big mouth off and have fun. And they let me do it.
It's, what are you going to do? He's good at it. And so we love him.
Tom was really good at picking, like you said, Tom was good at finding people that were good at what they did and helping promote them. I'm like Tom. I love promoting other people. I'm at this stage of my life, I'm not about promoting me. It's about promoting other people and what they do. And that's why I was so glad that you came on and joined us today. I've known you off and on through the years. And I know what you were doing. And I've always wanted to just sit down and talk with you and just, do what we're doing today and let people know all that you do. A lot of times people know the image, but they don't know the whole story of the person behind that and how it got started. And I think everybody loves to hear that and know about that.
So once again, just if people want to get in touch with you on either one of your projects, can you give us where they should go to, maybe a website, phone number?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Robbie, for that. And it's an honor for me to talk with you, Robbie, and you, Lisa, and you, Kent. I mean, you guys are.
You also.
Yeah, you guys are the social impact leaders that are out there doing it again, taking action, just like Robbie said. And, keep doing it. I'm cheering you guys on, and any doors I can open to help you or help the show.
Thank you.
Please let me know. I'm always an ally, always ready to help the good people like you guys. You're the first kind of people I love to help because I know helping you guys helps yourselves, but more people. So
I'll be knocking on that door.
Yeah.
please do. I mean it. It's a lifetime open door. I'm telling you right now, you guys, I will always help whenever I can. So don't hesitate. Knock on that door. And for Imerman Angels, if anyone knows someone fighting cancer alone and scared and just in a bad place, please send them to us. It's IMERMAN Angels.org. Or you can call 866-Imerman. We got lucky and got the toll-free number if you can't remember that. And if you can't remember all of that, don't worry because my brain forgets tons of stuff. You can just go to Google even and type in one-on-one cancer support, and Google gives us a grant. So we get what's called Google grants, which you guys may know about, and we get $10,000 in credits every month from Google, which are like free keywords. Wow. So we buy the keywords one-on-one cancer support. So anywhere in the world, we're going to pop up first for one-on-one.
Oh my God.
Cancer support.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So don't worry if you forget my name. That is not important. What is important is one-on-one peer mentoring. My mom named this thing when it was just a few survivors and I. We were just a small group, and we just never thought it would grow at this space. And so she's like, your friends are like angels. They just are so selfless and caring, and they want to help the next person. They don't want anything in return. They're true angels. She's like, just call it Imerman Angels, you and all your buddies. And so we just put a name on it. We hadn't even applied for a 501c3 at that point, and that's how we got the name. And then we realized later, once it grew, that it's a difficult last name to spell for a lot of people. It could have been a lot easier.
We're all very aware not to say Imerman's Angels. Did you notice we didn't do it all show? We didn't do it the whole show.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where we got that from, Jax. But we heard this little rumor, so we're running with it. So closetalk.com, ImmermanAngels.com, 866 Imerman, and I'm assuming for Close Talk we just go to the website. There's no phone number.
That's it. You just go to the website. People can email. There's an email on there too as well. I'm pretty sure on the website, or you can find us on LinkedIn or other social media if you want, Facebook. But yeah, it's mostly a digital platform. Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny, thank you so much for your time. It was just a pleasure learning about you and what you're doing for others. We really enjoyed having you on the show today. Thank you so much for being with us. It was a pleasure.
You got a great smile. I think you're like
Yes.
me. You're so happy you make yourself sick sometimes.
Robbie, you're the best, man. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your story about your father and your grandfather.
Well,
Telling
no
me
problem.
that story. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
it is incredible, man. You have a history of service in your family, man. I appreciate your openness and both of you guys sharing your openness. That's how we help people, right? We gotta open ourselves up first to let people in if we truly want to help. And so you guys, again, leading from the front. Honored to know both of you, all of you. Ken, too, your good energy as well. Keep
He's
up the
waving.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny, again.
Stay well, guys. Keep it
Yes,
up.
thank you, too.
Catch you next time.
Everybody,
Looking
thank you
forward
for
to
joining us on Not Done Yet. We'll be back next week because we are
Not
not
done
done
yet.
I love it.
yet.
There he is.